So Mexican culture is it's very more exciting. It's a lot more exciting than American culture. Each state has their own food, their traditional dance. Mexico City was really cool because I got to try foods from every other state. From Oaxaca, they have different kinds of foods than they have in Guerrero. The only really Mexico food from Mexico City is tacos, which are the most delicious thing. They're not like tacos here. Taco Bell is nothing like Mexican food. The food there is super good. My favorite food was pozole. It's like this soup with these giant corn kernels, and they make it out of pork meat, usually, sometimes chicken. And you have so you put like oregano in it, and you like grind it up and put it into the soup, and then you add salsa and you lime, radishes and lettuce, and you eat it with the tostada with cream and cheese on it. It's my favorite thing ever. But they have other good things like they had these things called milanesa. It was like breaded chicken. Or they had flautas that are like kind of like taquitos, like what we eat. There's something native to Mexico City which is called garnachas. It's like a genre of food. It's like tacos, huaraches, sopes, quesadillas. Quesadillas are not what you think quesadillas are. They're not just like a flour tortilla put in half with cheese in the middle. It's like corn dough, like they make tortillas out of, and they flatten it, and then they put chicken, and then they put salsa, and they like deep fry it, or not deep fry, yeah, they put it in boiling oil and like fry it up, and then you can put cream and salsa on it. It's super good, and cheese. You get a wide range of people. Where I served mostly in more urban areas. There are some areas that were kind of in between, like suburban areas, but the people in the city, they're a little more mean. The people in the more suburban areas will always say hi. Every time you pass someone, Buenas tardes, you have to say hi. You kind of are rude if you don't. The main religion there is Catholicism. Almost everybody is Catholic. If they're not Catholic, they're some extreme form of Christianity or Jehovah's Witnesses. They're very active there. They believe a lot in their traditions. Like my father was Catholic, and I have to be Catholic. I'm gonna die Catholic because that's just how things go. So little things that they do, it's very hard for them to change. Like drinking is a huge part of the culture. People drink tequila and beer all the time. It's actually kind of interesting. Like how do I explain it? No one parties quite like Mexicans do. They know how to party really well. When they have a party, if their child's graduating kindergarten, whatever it is, they rent out these big tents, and they block off the street so cars can't run through there. And then they have like bouncy houses so that the kids can jump on and not distract the parents, because the parents are usually drunk and can't take care of them very well. And it's just, they blast music. If you're living on the street where the party's at, you're not going to sleep that night because the music is just blasting. But it's really cool. Parties are really cool because everyone knows how to dance. Elders can't dance, obviously, but it's kind of cool to just watch them and kind of pick up like salsa and bachata and see the different kinds of dances for different times and see different regions and how the dances change. Most people are really nice. They're really genuine. They have this saying there that most elders hate by the time of their mission. They say, "If God wants me to." So you'll invite them to go to church and say, "So will you go to church this Sunday with us?" And they say, "If God wants me to." And you're kind of thinking, well, of course God wants you to. Like, we're representing God here. He wants you to go to church, so come. And it's like, okay, God first. They always say that. Primeramente Dios. They always say. So that's just like a weird saying that they have that's kind of annoying because it's hard to argue with them because they'll never say no. They'll always say yes, but they'll say yes in a way that means that they don't want to. So you have to kind of pick up on those cues. It took me a long time to figure out when people say yes, they actually mean no. Generally, most Mexican women over the age of 40 look similar. I don't want to sound too offensive. They all have the aprons. Most of them are a little bit overweight, and they're all really good at cooking, and they're super sweet. And so, like, you always have one ward. In every ward, you always have one sister that's like your mom. She's like, oh, I'm the elder's mom. She always makes the best food, and she always invites you over. In Spanish, we literally translate to sugar mama or cookie mama. So it was really cool going to every area and having one sister that kind of looks out for you. There's a very strong macho culture there. The women are very second to men, and men are the ones that are in charge of the house. And so there's a lot of cases of domestic violence, and a lot of times, sometimes we would joke that the women want their lives to be like a soap opera because they wouldn't do anything about if their husband was hitting them or they didn't like the way that things were. They would leave the relationship or go find help or be independent because they were like, oh, he hits me, but I still love him. And I don't know, there's a lot of drama in family situations because in Mexico, it's not like America where you turn 18 and you move out. Families stay living together forever. So you go to a house and you'll find the main family and you'll find their grandma, and then the aunts live in a different room. But houses are like, there's a metal door and you open the door and there's like 5 different doors downstairs and upstairs, and that's where the families live. So you walk in and there's a hole and there's no ceiling. It's just like a courtyard, and then there'll be like kind of apartments that live in each family lives in each house. So yeah, there's just a lot of, sometimes there can be a lot of drama within families, especially when the parents die, the kids fight over the house, or when you get married, they don't like the family, or if there's like a case of domestic violence, like the family will have a feud. There's tons of family feuds. Almost every ward has some kind of family feud. But the culture is very, very family oriented. So that's why a lot of people like about the church is that we're all about family and making them stronger, because most people have problems in their family. They'll have an uncle that's a drunk and that beats his wife, or they'll have a just family problems, like a son that goes off and is doing drugs or whatever. They have a lot of similar problems. So if you can help them see how the gospel helped their family, it's a way that you can attract people to come to the church. Generally, the grandparents of the family are like the ones that whatever they say goes, and usually the grandparents are the really, really traditional conservative ones that don't want to change their beliefs and values. So they kind of look at us like trying to make them American by joining an American religion. And so they're like, I'm Catholic and I want to stay Catholic, even though sometimes the things they believe don't really make too much sense when we try to explain the doctrine, but they're held on that. So it's usually the younger generations that we're usually able to talk to, because they're ones that are a little more not educated, but like are open to newer ideas. The people that we mainly taught were mostly Catholic, because most Catholics don't actually remain active. They kind of, when they're born, they go get baptized, and then they go back when they get married, but they don't really go to Mass every week. So they don't really know anything about the gospel. So when we go and teach them, they're like, oh, I believe in Jesus. Oh, cool, we do too. And then we can explain them all these things, and they really like it. As opposed to other really hardcore Christian religion, people know the Bible really well, and they believe that that's it, and they don't believe in the Book of Mormon, or they know something about Mormons, and so they bring up a lot of anti-Mormon stuff.